Hi, and welcome to this instructional video designed to orient you to the Alvin2 voice recording software, which you'll be using to do data or voice sample collections as part of your voice diagnostic experience. Now, depending upon the computer you're using, all will probably have a shortcut to the voice recorder. Its icon is this gray box with a set of headphones in it. It may vary a little bit in the name of it, but on my laptop it is called the voice recorder, which will often be the computer you'll be using. Just double click on that and you will be prompted to enter your subject identifier. Well, this is the client identification information. In our clinic we are using the file number to identify the client, and in some cases you may not have the file number. If you don't have it at the time of the assessment, then I urge you to use some sort of identifying information such as their initials for the time being until you get the file number, and then you'll need to make the necessary adjustments to the sound files afterwards. This will be used and will name our sound files that we acquired during the voice sample so that we can easily access those files at a later date. I'm just going to put in a mock number here to move on to the next screen. We hit OK. Now we're going to have a screen that looks like this, where in the bottom of the screen we have a number of buttons that will control the program. We have also a sound level meter in the lower third of the screen that is monitoring the microphone levels, and as I'm speaking you can see the sound level meters is varying. Now the monitor of the sound level meter has green, yellow, and red, as you can see as I get louder. The red area is the area where you should probably try to avoid because you're going to cause saturation or clipping of the signal and distortion. As long as you have occasional peaks into the yellow or the red, then your levels should be okay. Now to adjust the recording level, which you're going to need to do for each client, you need to then go to actually the Windows settings of the microphone level recording level. And to do that most quickly, you can go down into the lower right corner and find the little speaker icon. Double click on that and you should get an interface that looks like this. If you go to the Options, Properties, then click on Recording, hit OK, you will see typically an option for the microphone. And you can adjust the level of the microphone such that your recording level is typically somewhere mostly in the middle area of the level meter, and occasionally with stressed syllables and plosives perhaps popping into the yellow area, but very seldom getting into the red area, because we don't want to have clipping. It will distort and make it very difficult to use the sound files. So just to give you an idea of how the dynamic range of this recording, if I just give an ah, so what you need to do is you need to have the client do some speaking. You might give them something to read or just repeat the days of the week or some rhyme at a comfortable level and make the necessary adjustments so that you are somewhere in that safe region of the sound levels, recording levels. Now don't completely close this with the X, just minimize this, because at some point you may need to make adjustments later in the collection process and you want to have easy access to that. So for example, you can go back to this if you need to. Okay. You'll notice right here it says trial 0 of 16. That means that we have 16 different tasks that we're going to have potentially have the client perform. And when we hit the start button, we go to trial 1, and each of these will prompt you through. There'll be some text prompts that will tell you what each task is. For example, this first activity will be to prolong the vowel ah for 3 to 5 seconds. Now Once you give the instructions to the client, you can then do the very easily start and stop the recording using the record button. You don't have to use any clicking, you just simply have to place your mouse arrow or cursor over the button. It'll turn red, and that's when recording commences. When you take the mouse cursor off the record button, it will stop recording. So for example, now, just to make sure that you got a good recording, you can use the playback button, which will allow you to hear back immediately what you just recorded. So I'm going to do that now. I mainly do this so that I can be sure that I have a good quality recording, and typically the first trial or two I always play back just to make sure there's no buzz or some sort of problem with the signal. You can potentially play back every trial after you record it, but it can be a little bit time intensive. So often, once I'm comfortable, I've got my levels right, I've got a good quality recording, then I can move on and stream through the remainder of the tasks. To move to the next task, once you're happy with what you have, you hit the next button and you will get a new set of instructions, of which you can then again do your recording, stop your recording, and move to the next. And that basically is all you need to worry about in terms of the actual control of the software. The next set of concerns is really to use the appropriate sets of instructions so that you maximize getting good quality sample recordings from your client. And I have a separate video that will take care of that aspect of the voice sample collection process. Once you've completed all of the trials, you can go to the main menu and then just hit quit. And what has happened is that all of those files have been recorded as sound files, as WAV files, and have been placed in a folder with the file number using the identifier as the folder, and within the folder each of the sound files is there. And there is information on the website that tells you the naming conventions for the sound files. That's all for this orientation. And as I said, I direct you to the video that will show a typical recording session.